Yes, people. What's happening? Welcome to Sayu TV and welcome to the Friday night debate show. We've got a lot to discuss about, man. We've got a lot to discuss, man. A lot has happened since yesterday, since the start of the week. You know what I mean? It's all going mad, mate. And I think Barcelona are taking a piss. You know what I mean? But we'll get into it. Big up to everybody who's in the chat. Like the video, people. As soon as you enter the stream right now, like the video. That's the first thing you do. Subscribe if you're new. And make sure you follow these guys on their YouTube channels, their socials. The link is in the description. Charlie, how are you, mate? I missed you last week, man. You good?
Yeah, all good, mate. Thanks for having me on again. And yeah, I know you're not happy about Barcelona, but you know, man, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Adam, how are you, man? Everything good, bro? The professor in the back. You know what I'm saying? Big up to you, man.
Thank you very much, my guy. It's all right. I'm all good. It's a mad week. Like for football, everything. So I'm happy to take the time to discuss, take mind off things, and talk football with the guys. 100%.
Absolutely. Man, like Statman Baines. What are you telling me, bro? Myrtle Madness. What's going on?
I'm calm, innit? I'm calm.
Are you calm?
Of course. I think De Jong's happening, innit? Like,
listen, don't do this, Statman. Don't do this.
I think I'm like 95% sure it will happen now.
You're one of them ones, yeah? 95% club.
Jared
what are you saying?
Joining in, man. Joining in.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna kick this off right here now. I think Barcelona are taking a mick. I think Barcelona should take what they should get. For me, 70 million euros, no more. And what they're trying to do is very clever. On their behalf, people, I'm not going to lie to you, it's very clever. They have every right to do that, by the way. That's one thing I want to get, first of all. They have every right to do it. Doesn't mean that I could come in and say that they're taking a piss, because they are. What they're trying to do is that they're trying to get the most money they can for De Jong when they know they're in a financial situation. For me, that is just absolutely ludicrous, first of all. They're in a deadly situation. And what they're trying to do right now, which Man United have to be very careful here. They can't be held to ransom. Even though we need the player, for me, like I said to you, 70 million euros is, for me, the right amount of money to pay for De Jong. I think we should go out there. Anything more, Barcelona are trying to take the piss, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to wait for other clubs to come in. Man City, Bayern Munich. And right now, they're not doing that. Other clubs right now are not coming for De Jong, because they know they have a set price and a set fee. I think personally, for me, 70 million euros or 70 million pound should be the right amount for De Jong. And I think Barcelona at the minute to say 100 million out of nowhere for me, because when it was touted at 70 million, that was the region that every Man United fan and everything that was going right now was saying it was 70 million. And for it to go to 100 million right now, I'm not sure. But listen, people, we're going to get straight into it. Starter, man, I'm going to go with you first. Would you budge over for De Jong for 100 million? That's the question. I'm going to go straight in today. There's no messing around today. I'm going to go in and ask you the uncomfortable questions.
He's not going to budge 100. Over? Like, this is just part of negotiations kind of thing, isn't it? That would just meet at the right price. Obviously, United went with the opening bid, which was obviously 60 million plus 10 million add-ons, euros. So what, 70 in total? I think Barca will probably accept 85 million euros. I think it's just negotiations, isn't it? It will happen in my eyes. And I think 85 million euros, I think that comes to like 72 million pounds, I think it is. That's a calm price in my eyes. I don't think it's cheap. I don't think it's too expensive. I think it's a deal that benefits all parties. Barca need the money. We need the player. We're getting an incredible player. And I think that's a fair price.
Absolutely. Big up to Ranjan GH says, big up, guys. Big up to you, bro. Love for that, man. Appreciate it. You know, people say this how negotiation works, Charlie, but it's not though, is it? We've seen the Sancho. Does everybody realize what happened with the Sancho deal? Like, does anyone realize what happened there? You know what I mean? Like, for me, Man United have got to do this properly, because I feel like, for me, this is a midfielder you have to go and get this summer, by the way, but also you got to do it correctly. What's your point of view? What's your feeling on this De Jong situation?
No, you are right, but I think this is a different situation. I think slightly. Look, Barcelona know that I think Barcelona know that Manchester United are obviously the front runners, and I don't think. I think if you look at the other clubs, obviously I don't think there's a great demand for De Jong at the moment. Not because he's not a good player, But if you look at the other situations at other clubs in terms of what positions they need, in terms of systems, there aren't many other huge clubs that particularly are interested in signing De Jong at the moment. So I think Barcelona know they're going to try and take the mick. Of course, they're going to try and get as much as they can. And they know that Man United have had a poor record down the years. If you look at Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, even Sancho, I thought that was, in terms of a lot of money for Sancho, really. I know he's English and you've got a bit of tax added on, really. But if you look at the deals we've done in the past, Pogba as well, we do struggle to, they are decent players, these players we're talking about, but we do struggle to negotiate well. But I think in terms of this deal, I think it will be 80 million euros. I think that would do it. Maybe 70 up front and 10, or even 65 up front, a few installments and then a few add-ons. That's what happens nowadays, doesn't it? You offer sort of 10 to 15 million less than you should, really, and then you add a few installments and add-ons, and it sort of all adds up in the end. So I think that's what will probably happen. I think it'll be 65 to 70 million euros plus 10 to 15 million in installments or add-ons. And so that's probably what it's going to be. But we don't, 100 million, we need to negotiate on that. 100 million euros, not for me, because if you look at what's 100 million euros, what's that in pounds? 85, probably, something like that.
85 million, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably going to leave us with. I'd probably leave us with about 90 million maximum for the in terms of the budget that we've been told from the media. 120 plus what we sell is probably going to be 160 to 180 max. That's probably what we've got. So if we're spending 80, if we're going to spend 85, 90 on one player, we're in a bit of trouble, really. We're not going to sign a striker, a centre back, another midfielder, and a full back. So I think we're going to try and negotiate down somewhere around the £65 million mark, I think.
Absolutely. Just before I come to you, Adam, I just think it's just, for me, I was just laughing the way Barcelona were just like, yo, nah, we're starting off at 100 million, then we'll negotiate from there. See what the situation that they've been in. That's why I was just like, yo, Barcelona taking a piss here, man. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, you man know where your position is. You know what I mean? You're crippled in depth. With our football club, funny enough, they're good at making money. Barcelona are not good at making money, and that's the problem. That's why they're in so much serious debt. You know what I mean? Big up to Ranjan GH. He has become a member of the channel. Big up to you, bro. I appreciate you becoming a member of the channel. Anyone that wants to become a member of the channel, please hit the join button. Help support the channel, man. Big up to everybody who's supporting. Big up to Ronald Jacob, man. It's been a while. I would spend 100 million on that player because he knows how Eric wants to play him, so he will fit in easily. He isn't injury prone. 2 inline Pogba, midfield with De Jong, Bruno, and Van der Beek can work. Can it work, by the way, Adam? Just before you kind of answer my other question.
I don't know. I don't think you know how I feel about Bruno. I wouldn't play him. I think Frankie, De Jong, Donny Van der Beek, 100%, and someone else, because now you need someone that is more going to play next to De Jong, behind Donny probably. So you don't want to see Donny there. He can do it, but we need just to do better. But going back to the previous point, I didn't see the 100 million thing. That's why I was like wondering why you were reacting so bad against Barcelona. I didn't see the 100 million. So what I saw was 80 million euros they were asking for, and I would agree with that. I would pay them probably like Charlie said, 70 like upfront and 10 millions in add-ons or whatever. So 100 million.
This is it. This is the offer that they've gone for. So Barcelona will listen to offers worth 100 million for Frankie. What's your situation, Adam? Before I bring in glitch Danny over there. Don't know why he's glitching over there, but just before I bring him on, what's your overall feeling? De Jong, the price has been set now. Is it worth it? How should we negotiate this one? Because they're in a very precarious situation. It's not as we know 100 million is good for De Jong, but the way they're going on, I think United and the way the new structure is going on, we shouldn't kind of fall for their demands when they're in such a precarious situation. That's my own opinion.
Yeah, I hear that. The thing is, I think they will accept less than that. If I'm being honest, I think they'll just like they're Barcelona. Like they have an image, they have their pride. They're not a club that we see in the state they are currently. So they're still trying to act like the big Barcelona. You can't just come and take one of our best players like that. So they're trying to behave like the Barcelona we know, but still, I think they will accept 20 million euros less than that. I think 80 million pounds and you get 80 million euros and you get the player. I think you can get it done for that price, 80, 85. And if you give them guaranteed 80 million euros at the end of the deal, I think they will take it. And for me, Frankie de Jong is a 100 million player, 100%. 100%. If it wasn't the situation that you're talking about, that Barcelona are in such a financial crisis, I would pay 100 over 100%. I would pay. This is just he's one of my favorite midfielders. I still don't want to believe this might be happening because I just rate him that much. So I'm just trying to stay a bit calm, not get too excited. But I think 80 million euros and we get the player. I really do.
I think he has a contract until 2026 on it.
2026. Yeah. That's the thing as well. For me though, Statman, do you reckon there's a feeling that he wants to move? Is this where it gets a bit tricky? Because Barcelona can negotiate, but the player is not as if he's like desperate to move. He would like to move, but he's not desperate to move. Is that where it gets a bit sticky?
I hear that, but I think De Jong's now open to the move, isn't it? I think obviously Ten Hag sold in the project. He's worked with Ten Hag before, and I think now this is where we're probably going to see the deal accelerate a bit now, because that was the biggest hurdle in my eyes. If De Jong really wanted to come, De Jong's kind of said, yeah, according to Laurie Whitworth from the Athletic, is very, very reliable. Now it should just kind of get ticking. Well, as soon as we agree the fee is done, he will come. Trust me, Saeed.
Listen, I don't know, man.
Saeed, you know,
exactly. Nah, man, don't do that, man. Don't do that, bro. You get me? Like,
but I am very confident now, innit?
Yeah. Big up to Nuri, Man United. I appreciate you becoming another member, man. Listen, big up to everybody who becomes a member. Nuri, Man United, big up to you, man. I appreciate you becoming a member. We got nearly 400 of you watching right now. Please, guys, like the video. It helps us out with the algorithm. So please, if you're watching right now, please smash a like on the video. I think there was a question from, I think it was Nate. Is it Neeks? Yeah, Neeks. Charlie, I'm going to come with you because you're the man of the hour. You've done videos on De Jong and whatnot. Will De Jong play as a 6 or an 8? What other midfielder do we need to complement him? And that's another question as well. We don't need only one midfielder. I think we need 2.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, ideally, so we need about 5 midfield players, actually.
Well, yeah.
we need a number 6. We need a backup 6. We need 2 8s and a 10, really, in my opinion. But obviously, we're not going to get all that. But well, in terms of De Jong, then, so really, Ten Hag's even said this himself. He's best as a number 8. But he's best not when he's the single defensive midfield player. He can play in a pivot. But he can also play as a number 8, so he can be that pivot player with a bit more freedom. But he can also play in a 4-3-3 as one of the 8s. But he has the ability, some qualities, to play in a number 6 role. In terms of build-up play, he's very comfortable to receive the ball in sort of the defensive third. But if we're talking about over a whole season, he is not a number 6, a single number 6. Although he could play there, and he has played there before, but that's not where he's best. Ten Hag's even said that himself. That's not where he's best. And then in terms of who to complement him, the midfield market's looking a bit tough, to be honest. I think Tchouaméni and De Jong would have been the best partnership, maybe even in the world at this moment in time. If you would have put those two together, I think those two could have, honestly, I just think they're that good. They would have complemented each other so well. But Sangare from PSV, I think that probably looks our best option.
Yeah, I like him, man.
Neves, Wolves are taking the piss a bit with Neves. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
He was available for 30, so now they're saying 70 for Neves. Yeah, I'm not paying 70 for Neves. You know, that's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If you're going to spend 80 on De Jong, that's more or less your. Again, if we're talking about Glazer-nomics, etc., that's probably most of your budget gone. So you need somebody next to De Jong or behind De Jong who's positionally aware, tenacious. I think Sangare is probably the best option out there for the best fee, and he plays in the Eredivisie, so obviously Ten Hag's probably got some knowledge of him. So if Ten Hag wants him, then bring him in.
Absolutely. Big up to Ronald Jacob with the super chat. He goes, wait, hold up. We know how Bruno, Pogba, and Matic worked. Are we buying De Jong to replace Pogba or Bruno? Give me 3 good reasons why Bruno and De Jong won't work together in a team. It can work. Statman, I'm gonna go with you, and then I'm gonna go to Adam.
Okay, listen, Bruno, Pogba, and Matic should not work in my eyes, isn't it? First of all, I don't think. Obviously,
Exactly.
in my eyes, post-lockdown football is fake. Obviously, it worked for that
Yeah.
period, didn't it? But post-lockdown football is fake in my eyes, isn't it? After that, we've seen it. That did not work. And I think the other thing that you said to Adam initially was Donny van der Beek, Bruno, and De Jong together, innit? You don't have a natural 6 in that in terms of a defense-minded player. Obviously, De Jong can play in the double pivot. Donny van der Beek can play in the double pivot, but none of them are natural single pivot 6s kind of thing, innit? Donny van der Beek, you could argue, is a number 10. So that's where I think Adam was like, nah, it's not really going to work, innit? And I don't,
if you look
like,
at Man City is the only natural team, maybe, that do it. Like a
the
natural
thing with Bruno
6.
and De Jong, Bruno and De Jong can play together, innit? It's whoever the third midfielder is. But the third midfielder, that original comment said, was Donny van der Beek, which is why Adam said no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Adam, did you want to mention anything regarding that?
Yeah. The thing is, when you play with the ball and you are a possession team football, the number 6, the holding player, is not a defensive midfielder. And this is something that is very, very badly understood, if you ask me. Because when you play with the ball, you don't want someone to be there to shield the back four. You want him to be competent on the ball. So if you tell me if you want a Casemiro as a 6 or a Pirlo, I'm taking Pirlo. But Casemiro is much more of a defensive player and is better than him. But I'm taking Pirlo over Matic as well, because I don't want the holding player in a possession-based system, if you play with a holding 6, to be a defensive-minded player, because basically you want all of your players to be playing with the ball. So that's why Ruben Neves makes more sense to me than a Chouameni, for example, or a Casemiro, or more of a defensive-minded player. So if you are going to play in a 4-2-3-1, but like Jose does, for example, then you get a good passer of the ball, and then you get a destructive player, a good defensive player like Matic, like Declan Rice, for example, someone like Casemiro again, or someone or Kante even. But if you want to play with the ball, I'm not having it that we need a good defensive holding midfielder that's going to break the play. We have the ball. So when we win the ball, we need everybody to win it together. And when we get the ball, we play with it together as a whole. And if you take a look at Frankie de Jong and Donny van der Beek, those are 2 midfield players that you cannot actually really pinpoint where they play on the pitch. The way Ten Hag plays is very, very fluid, and it's all about creating overloads and moving the team as a whole. Like they all move in masses. So you can't really tell if Donny van der Beek is an 8 or a 10, or if Frankie de Jong is the same thing. So that means the other player that we need to play in that midfield 3 needs to be a bit like that. Someone that is going to move with the team without having a very, very specific job of being defensive player. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So we can tell all we want about a destructive player and this and that, someone that is going to break. Rodri is not a defensive player. Rodri is involved in the play. Fernandinho is not a defensive player. Jorginho playing in the basis of a 6 is not a defensive player. But if you play without the ball and you are more of a compact team, well, then it makes sense. Go get someone that I will actually destroy and break the play and shield the back four. It just depends on how you want to play football. So if you play with the ball, well, then you don't need someone to be defensive. And one player cannot defend the entire length of the width of the pitch. It's just too much. It's not a human task. So I just think we need to reassess what type of profile we need.
Absolutely. You know what? You're speaking facts, bro. You're speaking facts, man. I think for me, big up to MD, by the way. There's a comment here from someone. I think someone said the days of playing as a lone 6, those days are over, Adam. You need a Sangare Rice playing De Jong as a 6 is not smart. But the way that De Jong positions himself, Charlie, and then from almost like the centre-back position and gets the ball moving forward. That's what he's doing now for Netherlands. He's getting the ball and he's driving forward. Do you reckon that would be the likely position where he'd be playing, or do you still see a Sangare being in there just as protection? How do you reckon the balance will be?
Well, I think Adam's right in terms of it's very, very fluid. So there's not... Obviously, when Ten Hag sets his team out to play, that each player will have roles and each player will be told, right, this is your role, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think there's so much set roles where you have to be in this moment at this point in time. De Jong can aid would be able to aid our build-up by dropping in and making a back three, outnumbering the opponent, enabling the ball to be progressed, and he can bring the ball out, progressing the ball, carrying the ball. But he could also be a player that is the less defensive player in that midfield, and he could be the player that receives the ball from a new number 6, or God, Lord have mercy, McTominay or Fred. He could be the player that receives the ball. Well, he might hope that he receives the ball, but the ball's probably going to go out into the stands from McTominay or Fred.
I think it's another Pogba situation if you go and get players like McTominay and Fred next to De Jong. I'm sorry, man. It's another Pogba situation.
It is a problem. It is a problem because Fred, the thing is with De Jong can play that deeper role. As Ten Hag himself said, that De Jong is more effective. Yeah, he's just tweeted.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Have you got a tweet? Have you got a tweet, man? Darmesh is a very, very good, credible guy. But I'm sorry, man. If that's the situation, this is what I mean. I think for me, I just think get the right price in, and I think Barcelona will budge. That's what I'm saying. Barcelona, I think they're taking a piss. I don't know what you guys are thinking, man. But Barcelona are in trouble. Them man are saying no, to 70 million. What's he said then, people? And let me know. Have you got the tweet?
No, but Barcelona are not really going to accept the first bid straight away, are they?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But the fact that Man United are very, very kind of like standoffish, you know what I mean, is a very, very interesting one. I'm gonna be interested to see how this one plays out, because if it's negotiation tactics, that's fair enough. But if Man United are not looking to get in a little bidding war, then bro, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. Someone said he got the link.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you go for it. I'm gonna find the link.
I was just reading through the comments, and people don't understand what I mean. People say we need someone sitting next to De Jong because if we lose the ball, we need someone to defend. If we lose the ball, we lose the ball. One man isn't going to defend the entire counter. It's not how it works. And I thought the real Zlatan said like we got Ten Hag got the best of Frank De Jong when he played next to Lars Schöne at the Ajax, and that's true. But Lars Schöne is nothing like a destroyer. He's more of a Jorginho, Carrick type of player. So if we lose the ball, it's like and I think Statman is the one that tweeted about this a few weeks ago, this myth of if you want to play with the ball in a high line, you need to fast-paced center halves. If you lose the ball, you cannot base your entire strategy and recruitment on if you lose the ball. That means by default, you're thinking in a negative way. That means you're accepting the fact that you will lose the ball. You need to pick your players in mind that you will not lose it to start with.
Yeah.
And if you lose the ball and you have someone is quick, what is he going to do? They are very, 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 very likely he's going to commit a foul and give a penalty or get a red card, with pace or without pace, in all cases. So you need to be more focused on not losing the ball, actually, first thing. And then you can talk about defensive players and this and that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. It's not improving how you play with the ball. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. No, it's a good point you make there, man. That's the key element of, especially the way Ten Hag wants to play as well. This is a tweet from people from Darmesh. He's from Sky Sports News. He says, Man United remain in talks with Barcelona over Frankie de Jong. The difference in valuation, but player thought to be more open to move. United look to get other midfielders and will walk away if they can't get a reasonable price. Statman, before I bring in the super chat, Ronald Jacob, Statman, what can you take from that? You know what I mean? From that comment there from Darmesh. What do you take from that?
It's the right thing to do. Like, it's not rocket science. We're not going to overpay for De Jong. The power is not with Barcelona in this situation. We're going to have other targets. If we can't negotiate a fee that United think is correct for De Jong, of course we're going to walk away. We can't.
You don't think that's scary? You don't think that's scary at the same time because there's not really a good player out there.
But you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. Then Barcelona know you're desperate.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you're
and
right.
This is something we criticize United a lot for. Like, we always just put all our eggs in one basket, whether it's Harry Maguire, for example, and then overpay.
Because you know why though? Because we haven't got the best scouting system. We haven't got the best, people in the roles. That's the problem.
No. The scouting department is very, very good, and it's whoever has the final say in terms of.
So who has the final say then?
I would agree with Statman on this one.
No, but who has the final say then? Who has the final say?
We have to work within the club.
Yeah, we have incompetent people at board level with very, very cheap owners who have ruined this club. very simple. But I think our scouting network is actually very good because we were linked.
Simon Stoner said something as well.
He's saying no bid. He's saying there's no bid yet. I mean, it's all, I don't know. It's all just
that's what I'm saying, man. It's jarring, this, man. This is what I'm saying, man. I can't be asked to transfer windows, me.
We're only on the 10th. What is it? The 10th of June. We've got a long way to go. Yeah.
This is the first day that the transfer window's even been open, and I think people are just overreacting.
Well, you know why you overreacted? Because this is Man United. Man United is a special breed. Man United is not the club that I hear that, think it is.
Yeah, I hear that, but it's still like the first day.
Let me just tell you. Let me just tell the people. And by the way, Simon Stone is very negative, by the way. I don't know if anyone knows that. Yeah, big up to Anas. He's always negative, this Simon Stone. He doesn't really, he's not really like, I don't know what the word is, man. He's more Man City than Man United, if I'm being honest with you. Him, there's another guy as well that works for the BBC. He's called Brennan. I don't know if you know Stuart Brennan. He works for the MEN as well. For me, this guy, I don't know, he's more suited towards Man City than is Man United. I'll be honest with you. But big up to Ronald Jacob. Another super chat, bro. I appreciate the super chats. And big up to you, bro. He goes, what we need is a proper CDM. I can't see Max Source playing again. We need a proper CDM to make Bruno and De Jong work with Van der Beek available to sub one of them. Can we try and send 85 million and Maguire? Plus, what's that? Plus, what's that?
Peanuts, I think.
Sorry?
Peanuts.
Oh, is it? Oh. Okay.
I think.
yeah. Khalas, that's it. But yeah, like I think for me, I don't know, man. Maguire, I don't know what his worth is, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what his worth is.
Probably so that thing. Peanuts, like this, basically 80 million plus peanuts.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, mate. So for me, it's crazy. I'm gonna bring up the tweet now, people. It says here, it says as per others. So he's basically trying to say Fabrizio Romano, anybody that's come out now, Man United have contacted Barcelona regarding De Jong. No bid yet, as club adamant that they will not overpay. But De Jong regarded as ideal for Erik ten Hag's intended style of play. Midfield is top of the list for strengthening Man United's squad this summer. I mean, Charlie, what do you make of that one? That tweet there, bro?
Well, no bid. I mean, to be honest with you, I think all these, all journalism and everything, I don't know whether people make things up or, you've got all these people online now that are saying they've got news. It's very hard to know who to believe, isn't it?
Saeed.
Yeah.
It's just very hard to, it's just very hard to know what to believe. It really is. So I think just for now, let's just see what happens. But, midfield's top of the list.
See what happens, FC, man. That's United, though, isn't it? See what happens, FC. You know what I mean, bro? See what happens.
What Adam said was right. Adam's right about the going back to the possession thing about losing the ball. But the issue that we've got is that we've got too many players who don't want to keep the ball first. That's the problem we've got. So we've got players like Bruno. Look, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, any others? Probably not. Probably those two are the two main ones. But the issue that we've got as Manchester United, we haven't got that mentality of most of our attacking players to keep the ball rather than take on a silly shot. We've been saying this for months, or trying to dribble past the player. We haven't got those players, so that is a bit of an issue. And that the issue is that we lose the ball so often. So at this moment in time, with those players that we've got, I mean, you can not play them if you want, but if Ten Hag plays them, he's going to need somebody. Obviously, we can talk about the unit, and obviously you can cover up for deficiencies, pressing as a team, obviously. But you do need somebody in there who is aggressive, and it's probably going to be Fred. If we don't sign two midfield players, it probably is going to be Fred, because Fred is very, very good at pressing machine off the ball. Fred is very, very good at that. But hopefully, we do sign a couple of midfielders anyway.
Yeah. Big up to Ice Freezy. Sorry, bro. I just literally missed it. Scouting hype. Wallahi. Ale Paris Penaldo. Yeah, man. He's coming for you, stat man there. Coming for your goat, man. You know what? Real Zlatan made a good point here. Real Zlatan made a good point here, Adam. United have been in direct contact with Barcelona since the 1st of June, but they're about to walk away when the window opens. Laughing my ass out. Well, that is a good point, though, isn't it? Like, United are already coming in and saying, well, we're not going to really kind of budge. Is that just a tactic again? Everybody says tactic hype, man. You know what I mean? Is it Man United tactics? Is that negotiation tactics? Is that just how Man United are running now? They don't want to be like the old situation that happened before. Is it now a new kind of way of doing things now? A new kind of cycle of, the Myrto era?
Yeah, I think it's tactics, but I mean, it's obviously a very, very cheap tactic. Like, oh, we are not going to be held to ransom, and if the
Yeah.
price is too much, we are going to walk away. Like, it's the easiest thing to say. I mean, does it sound threatening to you, knowing we paid 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire and 50 million pounds for Aaron Wan-Bissaka in pounds, in British pounds? Like, just deep it. Like, yes, it's tactics, but then again, is it? I don't know, bro. Just get it done because the fan base doesn't want tactics. Actually, we want them on the pitch. We've been lacking that for a while, but at the moment, we just want to get Frankie de Jong, get it done. We need to get someone else in the midfield, get it done. Spend money because we are a rich club and we are fed up. Like we have two ingredients here: very rich and very, very fed up as a fan base. So just get it done. Get Frankie de Jong. Get two centre halves. So I'm crying, please, for two centre halves because I can't be having one injury away from having Lindelof and Maguire going straight back in. Get it done. Just we need to move. Like, and apparently we are in for Darwin Núñez as well. So what is it? So that
no, it's done. It's done today. It's done. Liverpool have got him now. I think that's
yeah. I mean, we're
out the race.
We were in talks for him.
I'm not sure. Would you reckon? Statman, have you heard anything? It's done, isn't it? Liverpool's going to Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you.
Yeah, I think he's going to Liverpool.
I think he's going to, but that means if we had a go at both of them, United would be dealing for both of them. So that basically
that's true. Again, I don't understand the story. What are we doing?
Exactly.
What, you know what I mean?
What's going on?
Statman, he's got a point there. Statman. We're in for Darwin Núñez, but then all of a sudden we're in for De Jong. Can two things be right at the same time? Is that true?
Let's suppose, Said, for example, that Liverpool are not in for Darwin Núñez, and we get him for the price we want. Let's say we want him for 65 million euros, and we get Frankie de Jong for 65 million euros. That's 120. That's 130 million euros gone. So, and what is our budget? Like, let's suppose ideal scenario for the club before the Windows transfer started. What is the budget? Because that means to me that's 130. So basically, what 110 million pounds, something like that.
Yeah,
give or take. So that's a lot of the budget that was actually reported already gone on those two players. And then Timber, we know we are infant Timber. So what is the budget? And if the budget is bigger than what is being reported, well, get Frankie de Jong done because we are not getting Núñez anyway. So it seems to me that Barcelona are actually making the right thing by just standing strong because you have more money than you planned before because Núñez is gone.
Yeah,
I don't know if you see my
no, 100%. Statman, he's got a fair point there. What is the plan now? It was 1 minute it was Núñez, 1 minute it's De Jong. Like, is there a plan for this transfer market? Is it just kind of where the crowd and the noise is coming from? You know, is that it, or is there an actual plan? Do you reckon?
Yeah, but like, why are we acting like United can't work on like two deals at the same time, kind of thing, isn't it?
Two mega deals, though. Two mega deals. This is two mega deals. When you look at it, really.
Yeah, I know, but like Darwin Núñez is a mega deal in terms of price, not in terms of name, kind of thing. Like he's not that commercial big name signing that we normally United make, kind of thing, innit? He's only had one good season, and secondly, Barcelona knew we're gonna have above 100 million anyway. Like our budget wasn't solely gonna be 100 mil or 120. Barcelona know we have the money. Anyone's gonna know we have the money. So, like, I'm not really too worried. With the Darwin Núñez thing, yeah, I'll be honest. I think that was more George Mendes pushing the deal for United.
Yeah,
I don't know how much United wanted this deal. Because, like, let's be honest, we spoke about it before. Is Darwin Núñez really a 10-0 type player? The answer is probably no, kind of thing.
But there's also a feeling, though, if you're struggling and you need the actual striker and there's not many around, you're not going to say no to Darwin Núñez with his track record. You know what I mean?
You say track record, yeah, he's only one good season.
I was saying that for the season he's had, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still only one good season that you're going to be paying a stupid amount of money for. Like you said it the other day when you tweeted about Liverpool, like 100 million euros, that entire package for Darwin Núñez is very, very expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah, it really is.
Crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, today, by the way, Wolves are about to sign Paulinho for 20 million. They're in negotiation. Did you see that, by the way, Charlie?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm not saying that should have been our target, but I've
just
seen all these midfielders. Portuguese as well.
Well, they're basically Portugal, aren't they? Wolves. I mean, they must have about 12 Portuguese players easily. It's
It
crazy.
seems to me, yeah, that every midfielder that United are trying to get is almost like going past people. Like, I'm not saying that we're going to sign him, Charlie, but it just seems that every midfielder that you would think would be coming or would be some sort of like approach, it's just like, it's bye bye now.
Yeah, I
You know what I
honestly,
mean? Like,
yeah, mate. Honestly, I think McTominay or Fred will be starting next season. Unfortunately, I mean, we're seeing reports that midfield is the main area that we're concerned with, but I just don't. You know, there's also been talk about Anthony. He wants a striker. There's other than that Shamaka guy from Sassuolo, I can't think of any striker that's available for a decent fee. That's a good young striker. I mean, I think that's what's his name? Etike, is it? I think he's got
injured,
wasn't it?
Yeah, he got injured, didn't he? Yeah,
that's
and
devastating, man.
Nkunku might sign a new contract apparently, and you look at the striker market. That Schmacher, I think he wants to stay in the Serie A. So you look at strikers, who is out there really? Obviously, there might be some, obviously the scouting networks, etc. But you've got Ivan Toney as well, who a lot of people like. But I think you're struggling a bit for strikers, and then you look at midfield, you're struggling. So unless we some sort of find some gems out from somewhere, I just can't see us signing.
I like this guy here, man. For me, if there's one striker that I had other than Shamaka, it would be Lautaro Martinez. But again, he's just signed a deal, and I think he would be at least 100 million, easy.
That's the problem. That's the problem. I personally think we need. I think we need two midfielders, a centre back, and a fullback. That'd be my first four signings. But if you add up most likely signings in those areas, you're looking at De Jong, 60, let's say 70 million pound, Timber probably 40 million pounds. So that's what 110. Then a fullback, maybe a cheaper fullback, 20 million pound, 130. Then another midfielder. Who are you going to get? You spent 130. Who are you going to get? You've also maybe want to sign a striker or a winger. I just don't. I think unless Man United are willing to spend 220, 30 million, we're not going to be able to get all the targets in unless we go in the free market. But I don't think there's that much value in the free market in terms of the positions we actually really need.
That's a good point you're making there. I'm going to put that point to Statman. The fact that Man United don't want to kind of let this drag on, or you have to look at other targets. Is it because there's a lot to do in a short space of time? If you don't get this midfield that you want, you can't just feel sorry for yourself. You got to go and get someone else in. You got to try and look to other things, and you got to go get other positions that are sorted out. So if you can't get De Jong, which could happen, still could happen, you got to look elsewhere as well.
Yeah, but I think United kind of know that, innit? They probably have the list of targets already done. Like that's just how recruitment and transfers work. They probably have a list of 5.
You're very confident about United, isn't it?
No, I'm not even confident about United.
What did you say?
It's just how signings. No, but you're acting like they only have one name on the list. Signings don't work.
United have been freestyling for years. Donny van der Beek wasn't a Man United signing. Like all these players that Man United have bought, they're just off the cuff. Like they're not really kind of like
I hear
scouted and written down. It's just what.
But I hear that.
They don't write down what they're buying, though.
I hear that, but that doesn't mean the recruitment team don't have like a list of names that they think the club should buy. Now, we've seen it. Calvin Phillips was clearly a recruitment type player that they think could work in that number 6 role. They think is the right type of signing. They have their list of targets, man.
I can't believe that, when they were after De Jong and also at the same time they were after Núñez. I can't, for me, think of their recruitment plan. And they said De Jong and Núñez, when it's feasibly not. It's very, very kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can't go for them two players in the same window. You can't. It's not feasible.
Why not?
But come on, man.
If they had a
£100 package for both players, and you're telling me that's feasible.
Yeah, but listen, exactly. United were going to negotiate that price down. You're acting like they were willing to pay 100 mil.
What do you mean? What do you mean they're going to
negotiate price down? Now you're just moving silly now. Because you're
okay. No, but step by step.
No, but Saeed, this is where you're moving mad right now. You think United are willing to pay 100 million pounds for both of them? They probably have a set price that they were willing to go with Núñez. A set price now they're willing to go with.
But that's not my argument, though. No, the fact that they're going in for two of them, for me, when it's not feasible, that's what my argument is. It's not feasible to go get both.
Why? Say if they thought the max price was 70 million pounds for Núñez, euros, and say another 75 million pound for De Jong. Why is that not feasible? Because that comes down to what, 120 million pounds.
No. Yeah, but then again, the way that's glamorizing it. I think that's kind of making it like a fairy tale. What you know and what you think.
No, but it's like someone said to this side, you're acting like 5-year-olds are doing negotiations.
Bro.
People,
but they are 5-year-olds.
Wow.
These guys.
but they're not though.
They are, man.
No, but they're not though.
They might as well be 5-year-olds because I could do a better job than them. What if I said I could do a better job than my United scouting team?
Saeed, I wouldn't trust you at all.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
You trust any in the know out there?
No. Let me. Please, before I bring this guy in, yeah, you're telling me I don't know better than my United scouting team? Yes or no?
I am, and I know you don't.
Because you know why I know that because I know what's better than McTominay. I know what's better than these. I want to bring in Wan-Bissaka and I want to bring in Harry Maguire. I know these players.
Oh my day, man!
I want
to bring in Tellez.
We are better. All of us here are better than the negotiation team, but not the scouting team. But the negotiation team, bro, is Murto, and I think Statman has a little bias here. I think you're standing for your man.
No.
He is.
No. All I'm saying, but this would happen with any sign. United probably have a set price in terms of what they're willing to pay for a player. Whether they're willing to go overboard depends how then desperate they are, kind of thing. Innit?
I hear you. But
and obviously, we were desperate, for example,
Cavani
when we got him on a free transfer. That's why we paid the £10 million.
Someone says someone's asking me have a bit of optimism. I swear to you, I wish I could. But for me, I've looked at our current problems for the last 10 years since Fergie's left. Wait. They haven't made sense.
Someone said he seems angry Nunes came to Liverpool. I said that didn't want
Who said that? No,
this
bottom left. Okay, yeah.
I never wanted Darwin Nunes at the club. I said that. I don't think Darwin Nunes
fair. I can understand that. Yeah.
Listen, I couldn't care less. He's a good signing for Liverpool, but he was never going to be a good signing for United.
I just don't know.
Two things can coexist.
I don't personally rate Nunes that highly, or not that price at least. But if Ten Hag wants him and if Klopp wants him, that means he has certain attributes that actually fit in a team. So I wouldn't have a problem with him, even though, not my type necessarily of striker. And I haven't watched enough of him. Like, let's be real. But
no, but the thing with Nunes, I say this. It seemed like George Mendes was the one pushing the deal for United. It didn't seem like United or, for example, Ten Hag actively wanted it. Like, there was a report yesterday that Ten Hag went to speak to George Mendes. That's Fabrizio said. I think Fabrizio said it. It wasn't true.
Yeah, I think that's false. That's false. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
I don't think United.
But my thing is, Charlie. My thing to Statman wasn't the fact that Man United should do it, but to be realistic, the approach is a bit scattered. It's a bit kind of like frantic. You don't go for De Jong and Nunes at the same time. I just feel like, for me, there isn't a plan. Like, he's saying that there is a plan and there's names that have been drawn out the list. I don't think there is. I think it's just kind of going, what they do all the time and just going with the hype, really. That's my own opinion.
Yeah, I think Nunes will probably, if he goes to Liverpool, I think he'll suit Liverpool, because if you look at players like Jota and Salah are not, in terms of their overall game, in terms of footballers, they're not incredible footballers. Salah's an incredible goal scorer, but Salah, as we all know, Salah has got some areas of the game he could improve. Same with Jota. The Liverpool forwards have just got to be deadly. They've got to press well. They've got to work hard, track runners, and they've just got to be deadly. That's what Liverpool. Obviously, the Firmino's a bit different, but I'm talking about obviously he hasn't been playing as much. But in terms of Nunes, I don't think we were ever really. I think we were just waiting on the side to see what was happening. I think Statman might be right in terms of agent talk. I don't really think we were. I think we were just seeing what was going on with Liverpool. I don't think we were really that bothered. And in terms of the price, it's a ridiculous price. And people need to realise that if you've got a more balanced team with better defenders, better midfield players, you're going to keep the ball more often. You're going to naturally score more goals anyway. It doesn't matter who your striker is. If you sign a fantastic striker without improving the midfield and the defence, you will not get the ball to that striker as much as you want. Nunes is not a striker to create his own chances. He needs the ball to him. That's the problem. So if you put Nunes in Man United at the moment, he will not score many more goals than Ronaldo.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know we can't do that experiment right now, but he might even score less goals than Ronaldo. We don't know, but he probably won't score many more than Ronaldo. The reason is we won't create as many chances for him. We won't create any more chances for him than we would for Ronaldo. So what you've got to do for us, we've got to fix the foundations first, the spine of the team. You look at Liverpool, their spine is fixed. Liverpool's foundations are set, so they can bring in these stars and they can, make them look very, very good. It's like if a player like James Milner came to Man United, he'd look terrible. Yeah. He'd look out of place, James Milner. Same with Jordan Henderson, wouldn't look that much better than McTominay probably in Man United's team. But it's the way that Liverpool play and the foundations that they set.
Absolutely. For me, like I said to you, again, you know what I mean? There needs to be a plan, Adam. That's my own. That's all I want from Man United. If there's a plan and there's almost like a feeling of, you know what, we can't work out with De Jong. It's not going to work out. Are we going to get Sangare? But also, you got to go and get a deep line playmaker, a player that can, play in that role and is a progressive ball player and he can get them up the pitch and can help us out because we need midfielders, man. And there's not many short now. There's not many around now. You know what I mean? Like, who would they get? Yeah, if we were to talk about alternatives, and I know it's too early to say because they haven't made a deal, but if the case, worst case scenario, what's your alternatives, Adam? You know what I mean? Because we have to look around because Man United are not the best negotiators. Who else is out there?
If you tell me someone to replace De Jong, I don't think there are any player like De Jong. Basically, like I think you have De Jong, Paul Pogba, and Kovacic who are similar to some extent. Like they can play pretty much up and down on that pitch. But this is why I don't want to get excited, but I think Frankie de Jong might happen because he's number one priority, and there's no player like him. So that means you don't really have many other options. Like people say Ruben Neves to replace him. I think Ruben Neves is anything like Frankie de Jong. I just think he would suit him very well playing next to him. But I don't think Ruben Neves can be a replacement for Frankie de Jong. So I think Frankie de Jong needs to happen and will probably happen. And the question is who else do we get in midfield? That is the thing. Because if we don't get Frankie de Jong, then I think you probably need 3 midfielders all of a sudden. Just because
this one's a good one. This one's a good one that you always say, Statman. But I don't know what the situation with Fabio Ruiz is at the minute. Is he sought after? Is he on the verge of any sort of move? How long has left got his contract?
Did someone not say last time that he has a year left on his contract? I'm not exactly sure, but he's not similar to De Jong in terms of that. Like S kind of thing. And Adam said it, like there's not many players similar to De Jong. There's a reason why De Jong's one of the best midfielders in the world. Like you could probably argue maybe someone like Verratti, but even Verratti, we're never going to get him kind of thing, innit? No,
we're never going to get him. This is one of case of you have to go and get him, innit, Statman? I believe there's a reason where this is where for me, Man United's not scouting, but negotiation team, if they've really changed, and John Myrtle can really get this in because I feel like maybe if we had Ralph Rangnick, we could look at other options as well, and maybe he could work out a deal and how to approach it right, and etc. etc. But have they got to get this one right? Have they got to get him, Statman? Is this all or nothing now?
For the right price, yeah. I think United have to do it because, like I said this, he's a unique type of player. With De Jong is what he's used to that Ten Hag system. Like that adaptation period, then obviously he still might need to adapt to the Premier League, but it kind of goes in it. Like there's not many like more dream signings that you can ask for in terms of that midfield market than De Jong.
Exactly. And we already have Donny van de Beek as well. So if we get him and we already have Donny, that's basically 2 new midfielders. Donny doesn't even play for us. So we need another one, so that basically 3 players that we can get the best out of, because I don't think Bruno is that good, but I think with Ten Hag, you have Bruno. He can get much more out of Bruno, much more out of Donny. You get Frankie de Jong, you get someone else. All of a sudden, that's 4 midfielders that are basically like not new, but improved plus 2 new players. And in January, we need to buy someone else again, maybe fullbacks at that time or whatever, because I think fullbacks are actually very important. And if you take a look at all of the good teams, I think the main thing they all have in common is not the midfield players per se in profile. It's the fullbacks. Liverpool, City, Real Madrid. Look at the way they play with their fullbacks. It just makes the biggest difference in the world. And the midfield players they have are all very different in age, in styles, and profile. So I think January I would go for fullbacks now, but I think we need to get probably midfielders and defenders first.
Yeah. You know, this is kind of crazy, Charlie. Big up to you, but everybody watching, by the way, make sure you're liking the video, people. This is I've been looking at the situation with midfielders, because 2 playing the double pivot, you've got to replace one of them. But it's like, where does it? How does the manager go about it? This is where the situation. This is where obviously the young Ten Hag will earn his money. But like in terms of the situation, two of them played double pivot. Donny van der Beek can play double pivot, but he's almost like a new player that Adam says. So how does he change that structurally? Because there's still there three midfielders that can play that double pivot along with De Jong. So it's as if Man United are going to say, well, we've got too many numbers in that area. But at the same time, we don't have too many numbers in that area, if that makes sense. It's almost like, what do you do with McFred after that then? What do you do?
Well, for Donny van der Beek is best as a number 10. Donny van der Beek is best, the third man runs in behind, running off the number 9. That's where Donny van der Beek is best. He's okay in a double pivot, Donny van der Beek. He can be used there, but he is best further away from our own goal. That Donny van der Beek, he leaves a lot of space, runs in behind. You don't really want him. For example, Frankie de Jong, Donny, and Bruno would be if you're chasing a game in the latter stages of a game, okay. But if that for a whole season, that is not the midfield you want. McTominay, Steve McLaren obviously likes McTominay. I don't get this McTominay from. There's a lot of different parts of the fan base. He should be the captain. Some people are saying. I've read tweets. He is this. He is that. I don't know whether it's trolls. I don't know what it is. But Scott McTominay is not good enough for Manchester United. Full stop. Fred is also, in my opinion, he's on the boundary of sort of a squad player, probably Fred. However, in terms of what we've got now, Fred, De Jong, and Donny or Bruno is our best midfield. If De Jong signs, that is our best. That is, for me, that's our most balanced midfield. So in terms of the double pivot and stuff, man, as Adam said, Lasse Schöne, he wasn't a particularly tenacious defensive midfield type player. But I don't know what Ten Hag's going to see. I can't see, he might work with McTominay, but there's only so much you can give a player. You can't make a decent player in terms of his football general ability into a world-class player. You can't do that. You can work with a player to improve aspects of the game. But there's players like McTominay and Fred, and whatever you think, who's worse, who's better, whatever you want to say, both of them at times are really, really poor. They're just really, really poor. McTominay is just hides in games. Fred's passing at times is woeful, absolutely woeful at times. Fred's passing, hitting balls out. His first touch is poor. He can't receive the ball with his back to goal. It's just Fred at times is poor. But the only sort of excuse you can make for them is they're both number 8s. Really, they're both number 8 and they haven't been playing in their best position. And they've been playing next to each other, which makes them both worse, it's actually quite funny. They're playing next to each other. It's like the Chuckle Brothers. They make each other worse.
This is what I mean.
It's Maguire and Lindelof as well. It's a bit like Maguire and Lindelof. I think neither of them complement each other. It's like they make each other worse. So it's the same with like De Gea and Maguire. The same really with those. Neither of them really help each other. Maguire wants De Gea to play a bit higher. De Gea could do with Maguire being maybe a little bit faster, and they don't complement each other. So we've got a lot of things to sort out, mate. But I'm hoping we could sign 2 midfielders. If not, Fred and Frankie de Jong, I think would be the best pivot that we've got.
Probably, yeah.
Absolutely. Big up to
Have you cut out? Is it just me or is Saeed cut out?
Oh my God, sorry. I'm back now. I'm back.
Oh, you're back. You're back. You're getting too giddy about De Jong. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Big up to the boss. Have a great evening, peeps. I have to bounce. Great content as always from a Liverpool fan. Obviously, I won't say that one at the end, but big up to you, man. I appreciate you with the super chat. Statman, did you hear the news about Asensio today? Is that true or is that paper talk?
Nah, man, I don't necessarily believe it. I think that might just be the agent trying to obviously negotiate maybe for a new contract for another move, innit? I don't really see where he kind of fits in. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, does anyone rate what's his name, Asensio? Obviously, he hasn't kicked on from where. Remember that goal in the Super Cup that he scored, and everyone was like, "Yeah, man, this is the next big thing," and that. And then the hype never really came about with Asensio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a left-sided player that we've never really had. You know what I mean? Adam, any noise on that? Do you think that could be a possibility?
I never really I never really believed in Asensio, even like when he first onto the scene and he was like scoring those crackers, and I just never felt like there was that much to his game. So not surprised, and I think it's paper talk, to be honest. Like I don't,
Yeah.
this makes no sense.
Man like Anas.
Bro.
Man like Anas said, I want Raheem Sterling at United. Oi, that's a left.
He would be brilliant. I honestly think he would be very, very good.
You know he's a United fan, as well, by the way. Sterling is a United fan.
Wow, he plays for City. He's taking the piss.
Do you not like Sterling?
He
I like Sterling, but I wouldn't want him, though. Yeah.
I think Sterling gets a lot.
It's just mad to me. It's fair enough, though. But I mean, how big of a United fan is he?
The thing with Sterling, though, like, I understand in terms of his finishing, on the ball, he isn't the most clinical, but Sterling's actually a very, very clever player. Like, I think he got a lot of stick in the Euros as well at the start, and he's actually a very, very good player. You talk about the system, obviously, that Pep plays. Ten Hag, a bit of similarity. I think he would be very good, but again, how much is he going to cost? He's probably going to cost. Well, he's going to cost 60, 70. How much is he going to cost you?
Yeah, left on his contract.
They're not going to let him go for less than 60, are they? Probably.
I think it'll be 60. I think Real have been linked with him as well, and Chelsea.
Yeah, they have, yeah. And even Arsenal, I think, were as well. I don't know, but...
No, I don't think Arsenal get him. I think he goes to the Champions League team, innit? If he does leave.
Yeah, that's the problem we've got. That's the thing with Frankie de Jong. I still, obviously, they're saying that he's more warm into the idea. But I think Ten Hag did say, didn't he? It'll only be 1 year of Europa League. I think there's Ten Hag, a quote of Ten Hag saying it's only going to be 1 year. So Ten Hag.
Well, that might bite him in the ass, man. Tell you what, man. You don't want to be confident. Ragnick was confident, and look what happened, man. You know what I mean? The players didn't want to play for him. I hope that's not the case with Ten Hag. I genuinely do, because if it happens, then we are screwed. We are absolutely screwed. Baines is an admirer of Sterling, apparently. Someone saying there as well.
I said it on the. I think I said it on the stream with Ty the other day that I would take him. Is like an outside of the box shout, innit? I know it's not probably gonna happen, but quality player. And we've seen when he played on the right in that 18-19 season, I think it was, how good he was.
What do you think we should get? Should we get like a Chiesa type right winger, or Anthony who cuts in and is more kind of like, in that kind of sense, like a Mahrez kind of type? Well, what's your feeling? Anyone more of a direct winger, or one that cuts inside?
Well, to be honest, I don't think.
Go ahead, Charlie. Excuse me.
No, go on, mate. You go.
I'll just say, as long as they play on the right, like, this is my thing. Like, if I'm going to get Sterling to play him on the left, where Sancho, Rashford is not going to leave, unfortunately. So I would probably just go for someone that plays on the right and let Ten Hag decide. The fact that we are pushing for Ousmane Dembele is just beyond me. Like, why would you pay a lot of money for someone else and then you have Dembele you can talk to? Like, because I think he's leaving. I'm not sure he's staying. So
I think PSG have been linked with him, innit?
Yeah, PSG
and Chelsea.
But I think Zidane's coming in soon, so we'll see. Zidane's coming in soon, so I think we'll see where PSG go. They could get some serious players, man. If man, like, you get me. So we'll see. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here, people. Thanks everybody for joining the stream. Please, guys. Apparently, there's only 252 likes. That is shocking, people. We had like over 700 people throughout the whole stream, and you guys are not liking the video. It helps us out, people, on the algorithm. You know what I mean? So us channels here, we need to grow. So you liking the video will help us do that. Like I said to you, we're gonna be back on Sunday for a show with a few guys. So make sure you peel them for that one. And let's go around the table. You, Charlie, you got a channel. Let them know where they can find you, man. You got content coming up.
Yeah. Throwback Chazza on Twitter and YouTube. I was going to put a Timber thread out during Timber analysis out tonight, but with all the De Jong stuff, I'm postponing that. So keep on watch out for that. I still think Timber's going to come. I think it's being brushed under the carpet for a few weeks to get. I think we're quite confident on Timber, so I think that will happen. So yeah, check me out on that. And thanks a lot as always, Said.
Absolutely, man. Adam Man Red on Twitter, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else to promote or something. Just on Twitter at Man Red.
Absolutely. Statman Baines, you got a couple of videos out, haven't you, on fullbacks, innit?
Yeah, 5 new left backs. United should be looking at 5 new right backs that United could look at on the YouTube. So
absolutely. Yeah, make sure you go check that out, people. Like I said to you, we'll be back on Sunday for a show in the evening. I got a new show coming out on Sunday, so make sure you check that one out, people. For now, Barcelona, accept the deal. We're out.